It's Jaylen Harris with Full Motion, powered by Back in the Day.
Back to another episode of Full Motion Podcast. Today we have
Jaylen Harris, the one and only.
Jaylen Harris. So we really brought him on the podcast to really just get to know him a little bit more because he has a nice basketball resume. And yeah, if anybody, I don't know, is in middle school looking up to people that have high school basketball experience and further, hey, we're going to crack down into that. So, yeah, man. So what age did you really start playing?
Man, I started real early, like really, really early. As my family always used to tell me, I always had a ball in my hand. You know what I mean? Like I always had something to shoot with, something to dribble with. Like just started very, very early. So I started early, and then I went to kindergarten. That's when I started taking it a little more serious. So yeah.
So yeah, since birth.
Since birth, man.
Yeah,
Since
bro.
birth.
You have any family members that played that like you really looked up to?
Yeah. I had an uncle who kind of made me love basketball a little bit more. I got 1986 ran on my chest for him. He passed away. Reason why I wear 21. He died at 21 years old, but he gave me the love and for the game. So ever since then, like seeing him play was just like amazing. And I had an uncle who played at Wheeler and won the championship with Wheeler. So yeah, I got a little family experiences.
Nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess me personally, I think it's cool to have someone that like whether they're like here or not, because I know for myself, my sister passed, and then she was always like really big into like starting her own business or whatever. So just like by that, like having her like live through me, so that like I don't know, us building this Full Motion podcast.
Yeah.
She like it's good to know that like I don't know, like you're making someone proud type.
For sure.
Yeah, like that's like your motivation almost.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's what's up. So yeah, growing up playing basketball, what was your high school when you started playing?
Yeah. So I grew up in Woodstock.
Okay.
So that was my area for a little while. I was all right. You know what I mean? But I started getting a little better. I was confused between basketball and football.
Right.
But I started taking basketball a little more serious. And when I transferred to North Cobb my freshman year, that's when I think that summer I took it extremely serious. I was going hard, doing everything I needed to do. I made a JV squad. And when I made that JV squad at North Cobb, I just kind of just took off. And then that Christmas break, I got to play with the varsity team. Mm-hmm. And I got to learn from those guys. And, I mean, after that, I think that's when I knew, like, yeah, there's something I can do with it. So
yeah, so starting off in JV, you're starting JV. It was going well. How was it like playing for varsity? Like for that first time?
It was. I ain't gonna lie to you. Back then, they had some talent. Like when I first played, well, the first game I went to play with varsity, it was versus McKeitron. That's when McKeitron had Sharif Cooper,
right? I remember
Isaac
that.
Okoro, Allen Breed. I'm talking about like Stretch.
Yeah,
they had all those guys. So to watch those type of guys play, it was kind of like, whoa, I got a lot of work to do, which was actually a blessing. I didn't play that game. I was able to sit the bench and watch. I was glad I sat that bench because them dudes can play. So that showed me I had so much more, work to do. So.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, and me personally, I played for Cal, and we went on this little like weekend trip to this one college. I was watching people play. They were like doing like alley-oops, like dunking off backboard. I'm like, it humbled me. Yeah. I was like, hey man, like no matter how good you think you are, there's always someone that's insane.
Insane.
Right, exactly. So yeah, it's good to surround yourself around that type of talent, most definitely. So playing basketball through high school. Since I do know you went to Kel as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, we kind of grew up like in like the little area. I remember you growing up and all that. We have like mutual friends and all that. Yeah. So how was it switching from North Cobb to Kel?
You would think it would be easy, but it didn't go as easy as it seemed. My junior year when I went to Kel for I'm not gonna name no names, but somebody said that I was an ineligible player because of of just things that happened. It wasn't like it didn't go how it was. But my junior year was tough. I think that's when I met actually Kamari and a lot of my guys at Kel, that I still talk to this day. But that year was tough because they told me I can't play for the whole season. You know what I'm saying? Telling a kid who breathes and lives basketball that you can't play the game that you love it was very, very tough. And you can ask K, you can ask all them guys. Like I was going to do it for the first probably week or two, but then afterwards I found myself going to practice every single day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I was practicing like I was about to play. I was at the games cheering them on, you know what I'm saying, clapping them, giving them high fives. Like, I really took it serious. And afterwards, we used to always go to the next play and always go get some extra work in. So, it's funny because I look back at that year and it's like, a lot of people are like, man, that sucks. To me, I look at it as a blessing. I learned so much about myself. I learned how much I love the game. I learned how much work I had to put in. And I think without that work, I wouldn't have a great senior year like I did. So. It really was a blessing.
So making that switch from North Cobb to Cal, you were fully thinking that you were going to be playing that year and all that. So that must have been a huge just shocker to you.
It was a huge shocker, and that team, I tell you, that team could have won the championship too because it wasn't just me that didn't play. We also had Joyful, a 6'10" dude that can just do everything.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He kind of reminds me of Ace Bailey, honestly, but. That year should have been that year. We all could have won. So, for me getting ready to go, me thinking, oh, yeah, we about to go crazy. And then I played that first game at Etowah. It was a scrimmage. So I was like, oh, yeah. And I played a great game, too. So I was like, oh, yeah, this will be a great year.
Right.
And then here in that coach's office. And
yes. Damn, man. I feel that pain for you, man. Yeah. That sucks. And then so that goes on. The year passes by. And then it's you'll be in 12th grade at that point.
Yep.
And then how was basketball at that time?
So I remember when they lost. I think they lost versus Dutchtown. Dutchtown. I think they lost versus Dutchtown. And I told my coach, I said, Coach, I'm gonna bring you to the championship. When I play, I promise you, I'm gonna bring you to the championship. And my senior year when it happened, I was so excited, ready. I was so ready to go. But as you know, at the end of the junior year, COVID came around. So when COVID came around, it kind of just started messing up everything else. So in my mind, I'm like, oh, they about to take away my senior year too. Like, I can't go 2 years without basketball. But luckily, we was able to do all that math stuff. I didn't like it, but it's like, hey, I get to play basketball.
Right,
you know what I mean? So going into that senior year, I was just more motivated, hungry. Right. I think I had a big chip on my shoulder. You can tell on the court just how I played. Like I wasn't playing no cool ball. Every loose ball, I'm diving for it. You see the anger that I play with, like, you know what I mean? Like, I had a reason to go out on that court. I already had a reason to begin with, but now I got an extra chip, and I think that just showed.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
One thing that stands out to me is, like, even though, like, you would have never guessed, like, by the time you moved from North Cobb to Cal, whatever, like, happened, but the whole time, like you said, it just motivated you. Like, you were still playing basketball that whole time. Yeah. Like, you weren't playing on the team or whatever. You're still playing. It just made you even more hungrier. Yeah. So on the court, it really showed. Most definitely.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's really big.
Yeah.
And then so once you graduated from Cal, and then the whole COVID thing happened. How did that look? From what did you want to do once you graduated high school?
Yeah, I wanted to continue to play basketball, the game I love. I had a great year that year. We went all the way to the state championship. Sadly, we got beat up there, but I had a great year. It was a very fun year to be able to have a COVID year like that, and still be able to have fun. Like I just remember the times with the guys, remember the practices, the fun games, the close games, and winning, achieving a lot of stuff. Winning awards, you know what I'm saying? So it was very much fun. And not being alongside with Scoot, watching him play and watching how hard he worked, it was very motivational. I always told him all the time, like, it don't matter how young you are, bro. I'm older than you, and I still look up to you in that way. So it was a beautiful thing to watch, you know what I mean? But to have all that, I was like, oh, yeah, I'm ready to go to the next level. And then hearing from other people who are talking about Scoot and put me in the same category as that, I'm like, okay, dang, like, this is an NBA player, and they thinking I'm good enough to, maybe go that same route. So I was like, this is very motivation. So I wanted to go to college. And college probably got worse.
Oh, you think? Yeah. So kind of want to like dive into that a little bit because I do know I always seen seen you on social media and all that. You've always been hooping. Like me personally, I always known you as like as a guy that like always hooped. Like I was
Yeah.
always like, yeah, seen you on the Kel basketball team, all that. So yeah, so going into college, you say you wanted to hoop. How did that look like? Do you ever play for college ball?
Yeah, so I went to out of high school. I went to Iowa Lakes, and it's a community college. And I'm thinking I had a lot more other offers. I actually had some higher offers, but I wanted to go there because I was talking with my family. They was like, "You could go over there. They don't have much players that one look like me, and then two that can hoop how I hoop. You know what I mean? So
I'm sorry to cut you off. Where is that at?
Iowa Lakes, it's in Iowa, so it's in small country Iowa.
Yeah.
So it's a big change from playing Atlanta ball, Georgia ball, and then go all the way Iowa because they play a lot more different, a lot more fundamental and stuff like that. But for me to be able to go over there, I can really stand out. I think that was our main thing. I wanted to stand out to the point where it's like I made a lot of noise in Georgia and over here, so I want to go over there up north and make a lot more other noise. So. That was the mind process, but getting there, man, it was tough because I got sick when I got up there. So I had strep, mono, and scarlet fever on my first month, and it was horrible. I was in the hospital for about 2 weeks, and then coming back home was in another hospital. And I came back to Atlanta, so I was gone for a month, and then I had to miss another month and a half. Right. So I'm basically missed half the season, all that good stuff. So
and you're still enrolled in the.
I'm still enrolled, so I'm in no class. I'm not even working out with the team anymore. So it's just like that messed me up completely. So it pushed me all behind. So I had to miss that whole season.
Man,
yeah.
Jeez. But whenever you move back, I mean, at the same time as like you never like I feel like everything happens for a reason. Like who knows? Like all that happened. Like. It could still like open up like many other doors. Like you never know, dude. So yeah. So whenever you moved back to Atlanta, what was like your mindset at then? Because I couldn't imagine like having to go through all of that.
Oh yeah,
and then still being like, all right, like what's next?
Yeah. So it was kind of like a dang, like again type of feeling. You know what I mean? Like, you know what I mean? And at that point, I was close with God, but not as close as I am right now. So I found myself. Questioning him, like, like, what am I doing that's wrong? You know what I mean? Like, I'm giving everything I got into this, you know what I mean? Like, why do I keep finding myself in these, predicaments? Because it wasn't even just sick and missing the season, you know what I'm saying? I also got, messed up while I was up there. They messed up a lot of stuff. They told me they was going to do a lot of stuff for me. They never did. And two, coming back home, I got all my stuff stolen. They were supposed to send my stuff back. I'm talking about shoes, clothes, underwear. I'm talking about they stole everything while I was out there. So it was just like, so coming back home, dealing with all that was, it sucked. But that time I went closer to God than ever. You know what I'm saying? I trusted into him, and I was like, look, I don't know what your plan is, but I'm going to trust you. You know what I mean? Because reading the Bible, that's what he tells you to do is no matter what, trust him for the good and the bad. So I trusted him, and I believed in him, and I kind of just found myself every single day just getting a little more courage, getting a little more positivity, and working as hard as I can. And people started to notice me, you know what I'm saying? People still ask me questions, but they saw how hard I work. Right. You know what I mean? So it was just like, in my mind, it's like, this is what I want. You know what I mean? I'm a basketball player, and I bleed basketball. Like, this is my life, you know what I mean? I would die on that court if I had to. Yeah, definitely. You know what I mean? So it was like, in my mind, this is the only way. This is my only way. I don't got no plan B. You know what I mean? So I went to work every single day. I worked hard every single day, work until I was able to get another opportunity. And that's where we are right now. So
nice. And what was that opportunity?
So that opportunity was a coach that still believed in me. He was actually recruiting me out of high school, and then I went to Iowa Lakes. But he saw that I was back at home, and for him to even reach out to me and still take that chance because my GPA was horrible because they said I was a full-time student even though I wasn't. So which messed up my whole GPA. But for him to sit down and hear my story, and because any other coach that would see that type of GPA would be like, oh, no, we don't want this player. Like, you can't touch him. You know what I mean? For him to listen, and then he put me in summer school to get myself all the way back up. Yeah. That was huge for me, you know what I mean? So when he reached back out, he's like, look, I love your game. I love you. I want you back on my team. And I had other offers to go somewhere else too, but for a coach to believe in me that much, I was like, nah, I'm going to go play with you and do this. So that opportunity came. And I felt like it felt the right thing to do. Right. You know what I mean? And that's what I mean. Like, God is a huge thing, and God is my everything. You know what I mean? Every time I would speak, every time I talk, my first thing is going to be to thank him because without him, I'm nothing. You know what I mean? So he showed me literally the right way, and I stayed patient, and I grinded. And He showed me this is where I needed to be. He made everything just made sense. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's kind of hard to explain, but when he speaks to you, just everything just makes sense, and it just makes sense for me to go that way. So now I'm here, and it's gonna be a great year. I tell you
exactly,
that.
Yeah. Like I said, like everything happens for a reason, and like I wanted to touch on like when you said like when you brought up God, because I do notice, like, I don't know, like a few months ago, like I always consider myself a Christian. Like I always went to church and all of that.
Yeah.
But like I never really like pray. Like I prayed, but like as I got older, I kind of just stopped and then just want to do my own thing. And then whenever I don't have God in my life is whenever like everything's just like all over the place.
Yeah.
I just feel like I don't have a structure in my life. And just recently, I've been trying to read my Bible a lot more, pray, try the best that I can. And now it's like people don't realize how important it is to have like that backbone in your life, especially as being like a man, like and growing and getting older.
For sure.
It's super important.
For sure.
And yeah, so that's I really commend that. And like you said, what school are you going to? Like, what school are you thinking about going to right now?
Yeah. Just so I got a couple of looks. I'm not gonna, say all the names yet. 'Cause I don't want to say the names. People watch the podcast, be like, "Bro, it ain't go nowhere." You know what I mean?
Right. Fair enough.
But I'm definitely gonna be going somewhere. I'm definitely going to a 4-year school where they play on ESPN mainstream. Like that's going to happen. You know what I mean? I speak that to existence. So those are the schools that I'm looking at, talking to. But it really just depends on this year. Like this year is a big year for me. I got to be able to put up the numbers and to do what I need to do so they can see me, but oh yeah, this is the kid that we need. You know what I mean? Because everybody knows I can play. Everybody knows about high school, but high school was 3 years ago. You know what I mean? We're 2024 now, so I got to have a big jump, which I have. I don't play anything like I played back then. So this year's a big year for me. But to piggyback what you were saying about God and having that backbone, like that is a big thing for us, especially as males, period. You know what I'm saying? I'm not even going to bring a race into this, but especially as males, period, like men like to think that being emotional or giving that love or showing that vulnerability as a weakness. And to me, it's a strength to be able to know how you feel and be able to know how to speak, know how to tell people how you're feeling and, how to control your own emotion. That's a big thing to have. And to have somebody that you can really trust in, you know what I mean? And know that when everything's going wrong, that you know that God's on your side. You know what I mean? Like how I always say, like, how can I feel if God's always on my side?
Right.
You know what I mean? Of course, you got your family by your side. You got everybody like that. But it's like, when you got somebody like that who you can truly believe in, I think everything else just makes it so much easier. You know what I mean? No matter what it is. And that's my way of thinking. I don't have bad days. You know what I mean? 'Cause I'm like, these are lessons. I don't look at anything as L's. Like, even in my past, like, I'm so grateful for my past, the good and the bad, because I wouldn't be who I am today. You know what I mean? There's a lot of mistakes that I wish I didn't make. You know what I mean? To the people, but it's just like also it's like I'm glad I did make those mistakes because now I'm a better person. You know what I mean? So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
And even whenever you did have like those type of hardships and like you felt like everything was holding you back, like you said, like you just wanted to blame God.
Yeah.
Like what made you like just keep on trusting God? And like it's because at that point I feel like it just takes patience. Like all this happens, you're like, all right, like I've been trying to trust you, but it just keeps on just something like what keeps you going to having like that relationship with him?
Well, that's the problem. I was always trying to look for somebody to blame instead of myself sometimes. You know what I mean? There were some things I just couldn't control, but there was some things that was just like I'm not learning yet.
Right.
And I think sometimes we blame God for why are you doing this? But sometimes we don't look at God and look at him like, oh, okay, you're doing this for a reason. You know what I mean? I feel like everything that he was doing was because he needed me to learn. And in my opinion, God gives you certain situations to put you in certain scenarios for you to learn from. And sometimes you don't learn. Yeah. Sometimes you need to learn the hard way. Sometimes you need to learn this way. So he puts you in different scenarios for you to learn. And this whole time he's really helping you. You know what I mean? And even though we think that he's not helping us, he really is helping us. And that's how I had to look at things. Like, okay, God, sit back and what do you want me to learn? Obviously, there's something that I'm missing here. You know what I mean? So I sat back and I really realized, okay, what is Jaylen doing that he can be doing better? And I was like, okay. Let me do this better. Let me do less of this and more of that. You know what I mean? And that's what I started to do. And I started to do that. I started to see life differently. I started to be more positive. Things started going more of my way. You know what I mean? Things started getting a lot much easier. So it was like at that point, it was just like, okay, God, you was by my side this whole time. You really was just I wasn't listening. You know what I mean? So that's all. That's really what changed. I listened. That's it. You know what I mean?
Definitely. And even like God is good for like the mental aspect of it. Like wake up every day, knowing that He's there. But like even like on like a physical aspect, like just like taking care of yourself, and like whether like I don't know if people are like smoking and drinking.
Yeah.
It's just like you just refrain from that, because like that like, I don't want to sound like too crazy Christian, but like our body is a temple made up by God. So like we can't take that for granted. Like you just have to like wake up every day, go for a walk, and just breathe and just appreciate what God got us.
Of course.
Like for sure, because we always just get so caught up in just like wanting to overindulge and do what we want to do, but
and not doing what we need to be doing.
Right.
And that's a big thing right there. Like you have to be disciplined. You know what I mean? Like I don't smoke, I don't drink, I don't party. And when I say those things, it's not because it's like it's bad, but it's just not for me. You know what I mean? I got a vision for myself, and it's up here. So it's like I don't want to do anything that is going. If it doesn't benefit me, I'm not going to do it. You know what I mean? It comes with drugs. If it comes with people, if it comes with anything, like if it does not benefit Jaylen, then Jaylen won't be doing that. You know what I mean? So you gotta, like, we can say God this, God that. By the end of the day, you also gotta be a human. And you got to be able to hold yourself accountable for a lot of those things, because, you know what I mean? Like, it's our responsibility of what to do, what's right, what to do, what's wrong. So you got to keep yourself disciplined if you want to be great. You know what I mean? And that's my main thing. I'm very disciplined. You know what I mean? Jaylen don't do what Jaylen don't want to do. You know what I mean? I don't get, people gonna be like, oh, yeah, smoke this little blunt. I'm good, bro. Why? Because I'm striving for something greater than right now. You know what I mean? Like I always tell my mom. I tell my mom this, like, I don't got nothing to celebrate. I'm grateful for every single day. You know what I mean? Like, I'm grateful for living. I'm grateful for just breathing. You know what I mean? But I don't have nothing to celebrate. I tell my mom, "You still working?" My grandfather is 60, about to be 71.
Man, what?
And he's still working.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I got nothing to celebrate. You know what I mean? Like I finally just got my own apartment. But at first I was living in my mama's house. I'm like, Mom, I'm just living in your house. I got nothing to celebrate. As a man, I got nothing to celebrate. So it's like now I'm working as hard as I can. So then when I'm able to become rich and be able to make my mom start working and build our houses and do all that stuff, then I got something to celebrate. Yeah. And then even then, in my mind, I still don't got nothing to celebrate because I can even do more. You know what I mean? So that's the mindset, bro. That's the mindset that I feel like everybody got to have. You know what I mean? Like, as for right now, we don't got nothing to celebrate as much. You know what I'm saying? Still be grateful for everything that you got. But till you get to that one spot where we can be, so we can take a little more deep breath, you got nothing to celebrate. It's trying to work every single day. So
that's what me and Kamari were just talking about. Kind of like the whole thing for full motion is that just being in full motion at all times. Because like some people work every single day to make it into the NBA, but once you make it into the NBA, that's just the beginning.
That's just the beginning.
And then now you just got to keep on going. And then it sounds like for you that you're just never satisfied, and like you always just like you just always just like want like you. That's a really good thing to have, though.
It's a good and a bad thing.
Yeah. To an extent. But yeah, man. So I guess I just feel like a lot of people they think what they're doing right now is enough, and it might be enough to them. So like, which is why they feel the need to like always like to just let me just lay down and just drink and just smoke, because I've done a lot, but in the grand scheme of things, like you really haven't done a lot. If like you said, your mom's still working and all of that. So yeah, a lot of people can take that.
A lot of people do, and it's like, and when I say stuff like that, it's like, because sometimes people are like, oh, then what else can I be doing? You know what I mean? That's when people start getting stressed. Yeah. Start getting frustrated and start feeling like they're just not enough as a human being. You know what I mean? And sometimes, like I tell people, like, how I live my life, I control what I can. And what I can't control, I leave to God. You know what I mean? But what Jaylen can control, I'm going to control what I can do. So it's like, if I can just get better this day, or if I got to go to work, I go to work. I'm not going to call out no matter how tired I get. You know what I mean? Or whatever the case may be, I'm going to control what I can control and then leave the rest to Him. So I feel like that makes my life less stressful. You know what I mean? Instead of worried about the things that I can't, like that energy that I would be spending on worrying about things I can't control, I can put the energy to the things I can control and make my life even much better and much easier. You know what I mean?
Then how did that start for you? Because most people, or not most people, I know a lot of people, like if they were to watch, they'd think that like it's not that easy to just be like, oh, let me just do what I need to do. Yeah. Like some people, like it's like it feels like a heavy weight on their back. Yeah. And they don't like, they really like don't feel like they can like start taking like extra steps to improve their life. So what is it for you that motivates you to just like get things done because you need it done?
It's that want to.
Like, yeah.
You know
So
what I mean? I feel like if you don't got that want to with just anything in life, then you're not really going to be able to get far in life. But it's like I have that want to get better. You know what I mean? But I think everything that I've seen growing up and everything I've been through made me realize, like, there's a lot of stuff, Jaylen, that's just going to happen. And that's life. You know what I mean? So sometimes I had to take a step back and just really realize what life really is. You know what I mean? And some things that you just cannot control. No matter as much as you can, as much as you try to, you can't control it. You know what I'm saying? You can't control what people like or think of you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? You can't control this, that, and third. So it's like just made it more easier for me to just be like, well, what can you control? And perfect that and try to perfect that. Try to be good at what you can control instead of worrying about what you can't control.
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's what helped me to be, and it really did help. Like, to me, because everybody's life is different. You know what I mean, everybody's gonna find their reasons on what they do. You know, find their own reasons on how they do things. But for me, doing that made my life easier, made my life better. So when I saw good things coming out of what I was doing, I'm like, okay, I want to continue to do those good things. You know what I mean? So, but if I felt like if I was doing other things and I wasn't getting the good outcomes, I think I would have stopped.
Yeah.
But for me to think this way and then for me to see the good outcomes out of it, I mean, it just made life much more easier. And then two is like I trust myself. I feel like I think that's what it stands from. You got to believe in yourself before anything else. Because if you don't even believe in yourself, no one else will. Yep. You know what I mean? If I expected or if I wanted for this person to give me that satisfaction of they believe in me, I'm not gonna be great. You know what I mean? Right. So I really believed in myself and I trusted myself. And I don't care if it's just me versus the world. I know that I can be there. You know what I mean? So I had that, and then everything else just came with it. You know what I mean? So.
And one thing I live by this. I think I'm finna tell my little brother this, but like your word is very important.
Yeah.
Like if you like tell yourself, if you don't even tell anybody, you tell yourself like I'm gonna try to hit the gym 7 days this week, but you don't do it. Next time you tell yourself something, like you're not gonna take yourself serious. Exactly. So like keeping your word for yourself, like not even for other people, but like saying you're finna do something to yourself, and like whenever you actually do it, like you feel like you like, I don't know, like it feels nice to do something that like you said that you would do, and it kind of like builds a muscle in your brain to just kind of it's like that you can rely on yourself. Because I know for myself, I always like beat myself for like a lot of things that I try to do, but like I just didn't, whether I was like unmotivated or whatever. I just beat myself up, and it literally feels like I can't trust myself. So I can't like tell myself that, oh yeah, I want to stop this because I'm gonna just do it whatever or like anyways. So it's kind of like just trusting your word and just trusting yourself. And
that's very true, because my biggest thing is I'm gonna do what's right even when nobody's watching me. You know what I mean? If I'm in the gym by myself, am I going as hard as I would be if there was college coaches in front of me? You know what I mean? Or if I had, Dan Hurley from UConn watching me, if I had, just whoever, you know what I'm saying? Like, would I be going this hard?
Right.
You know what I mean? So you gotta keep yourself accountable. You gotta hold yourself to a higher standard even when you're just by yourself. You know what I mean? And that means a lot to you. You know what I mean? Exactly. It means, and it's just like if I'm lying to myself, then it's just like, I'm not benefiting nothing. I'm not helping myself. I'm not gonna get any better by just lying to myself. But if I'm holding myself accountable and I'm making sure that I'm doing this many shots a day, or I make sure I'm running these miles as hard as I can, or I'm doing whatever the case may be, like eventually somebody's gonna see that. You know what I mean? Somebody's gonna see, oh, this person really does work hard, because you never know who's watching.
Right.
You know what I mean? Even when I come to different games, like I'm gonna go as hard as I can. I don't have to score. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a big thing. Like, playing with Scoop back in the day. You know what I mean? People came to watch Scoop play. You know what I mean? If you heard Kel, you think Scoop. You know what I mean? And you watch and you see the game, but then when you're watching that game, you see number 21 doing this and doing that. Exactly. He's hitting big shots. Oh, he's diving the floor. He's doing this. And that's what my coaches who recruited me were telling me. Oh, I loved it when you did this, this, and this. In my mind, it's just me playing basketball. You know what I mean? I'm just going hard because that's something I love. You know what I mean? I didn't do no flashy dunks, you know what I mean? I didn't do no behind-the-back passes. I just kept playing basketball, and they loved that, you know what I mean? So just, like, that shows me, like, the little things matter, you know what I mean? And you do that within yourself and show yourself, like, the little things matter, and you have that type of, like, standard within yourself, nothing else can touch you. You know what I mean? Nothing can touch you.
And it all started from you being in the gym alone, just, like, pretending that there were scouts watching you.
Scouts there.
Yeah, exactly. Like you said, just building that muscle like that you didn't even know. I heard like someone say like even if like you're a janitor or like you're cleaning up toilets, like clean up like the toilet as clean as you can, like do everything like 110%, because whenever it like time actually comes for you to actually be in a position for like an important position, you're gonna just automatically be 110%.
It's so true. It's so true to do everything 110%. Like go hard in everything that you do, because like I promise you, somebody's watching, and people hear that it's like, bro, like I've been doing this for, and that's the problem with people, and that's the problem I actually taught myself. Like sometimes I'm like, well, I've been doing this for this amount of time, but it's like you never know when your time is.
Right, exactly.
You know what I mean? For some people it might be next week. For some people it might be next year. Some people might be 10 years. You just never know. So every single day you gotta give your best in every single thing that you do, because that time is coming. When that time is coming, you want to be ready for it. You know what I mean? That's my biggest thing. It's like when my time comes, Jaylen's gonna be ready. I don't want the time to come and it's like, oh, I'm not ready, or I'm not in shape. You know what I mean? I'm not focused, or I'm not locked in. No, every single day Jaylen's gonna go as hard as he can. So when that day is, when I'm called for it, I'm ready.
You're fully prepared.
I'm prepared.
Yeah, for sure.
So
yeah, talking about just like building the little muscles and just like just being the man that yourself, and like owing it to yourself, and like yeah, man, that's just as much motivation as you need. And for the people that, like I was just telling you, like it might not be easy for someone to just get out there and just do it, but I think it really just all boils down to just like your self-worth and like in your like just being in that headspace that like you can just like trust yourself and just get things done that like yeah, because once you do what you say you can do, then yeah, nothing can stop you.
The rest just becomes easy, you know what I mean? And just for me, it's like I've been around the greatness, you know what I mean? I've been around a lot of NBA players, a lot of WNBA players. I've been a lot of just people who's living the dream that I want to live. You know what I mean? So when I see that, it just makes it more motivation, because I can do the same thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I'm gonna congratulate them, and I'm happy for them. You know what I mean? But just like when I see that, it's like, okay, I can do the same thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But my biggest thing is I see in a world of social media where people look up to the people for the wrong things, or they look up to the wrong people. I feel like because I'm not gonna lie to you, like when we come next year, Jaylen Harris is gonna be a big name. Like, I'm telling y'all right now. Full Motion.
Yep.
Full Motion got it first.
We got it on.
Full Motion got it first. Jaylen Harris is going to be a big name. And when I become that big name, I want to use that big name to help kids like me. You know what I mean? And I feel like, and especially in this area, for, even with us, for me to be like a regular guy working at the mall, and then for me to become a big name, it's going to, somebody else going to be like, dang, like, he did it. And I know what he did. I know how he did. So now I think I can do it. And it doesn't got to be with basketball. It could be with, like y'all doing with the podcast. It could be with somebody else trying to be an entrepreneur. It could be anything. I feel like when people see my story and hear my story and see where I came from, I'm just a normal human being who just wanted it that bad. Yeah. I didn't do nothing extra. I didn't have nobody. I didn't pay my way to anything. I didn't know nobody to get me up there. Like, this is what Jaylen Harris, just working hard. And I feel like when people hear that story, I feel like it can motivate anybody, boys or girls, and to be better. So I feel like that's another reason why I go so hard, because I want to be able to help the next person. I feel like that's what I've been put on this earth to do, is to help people with my words or with my actions. That's what God put me to do. So I feel like me going so hard for my family and helping them out, you have other people watching you and be like, okay, he did it. And this is how he did it. He did it a great way. I want to do it this way. You know what I mean? I feel like that's the biggest thing that in life that you can really have. And forget the money. Money's nice and all that stuff, but for me to be able to help somebody else just by me not even knowing them, me not even never talking to them, but for me to help them out, I feel that's the greatest thing ever. So
and just I just think it's like really cool, just like hear your whole like your story like coming up, and like your journey with basketball, because like that's, like you said, like no, even though it didn't go maybe the way that you planned it, like it's still like you have so many factors that's driving you to like want to be where you want to be at. So like,
it's a blessing.
Yeah, exactly. It's just all a blessing. So yeah, I don't doubt that. Like you said, like you're gonna be big in 1 year, because by the sounds of it, like you have all the reasons to just go hard. Yeah, most definitely.
It's gonna happen, bro. I'm trying to tell you, it's gonna happen. When it does happen, we're gonna come back on Full Motion, and we're gonna sit here and we're gonna replay this tape, and we're gonna be like, look, I didn't lie to y'all, so this gonna be a great thing, though.
Yeah, definitely. We're gonna have a little instant replay.
You know what I mean?
There.
We're gonna make it happen, bro. So
absolutely,
it's gonna be a great thing, bro.
Yeah, man. So yeah, I feel like we touched a lot of topics.
Yeah.
All right, so I just want to talk about where you're at right now, and the school that you're about to attend.
Yeah.
So yeah, can you just dig a little bit more?
Yeah. So my whole situation right now, I'm at East Georgia State College. It's a NIA D1 JUCO. Real smooth. We about to start a season. We actually supposed to be playing right now as I speak. But we was in the hurricane. That hurricane came through, hit us very, very hard, which caused me to be back here for a week. So it hit us pretty hard, but we actually will come back next Tuesday and start. And then October 17th, we have a home game. So as I told my coach, we were delayed but not denied. You know what I mean? And for some reason, we just in my thing before this, our team wasn't very much together as a team. We didn't have a great chemistry. But I think after this hurricane, we all was sitting there in the darkness and just talking to each other and laughing with each other.
Yeah.
So for me to be like, we didn't have no chemistry, and all of a sudden, like we all texting our group chat, checking on each other, being there for each other and laughing. I feel like, to me, I just smile and just like, I see what you're doing, guys.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, so now I'm in a situation where we're about to come back, about to start practicing the game, about to get ready, and about to have a hell of a season, my guys. So it's gonna be a great year. So that's where I'm at right now. So, just gotta go through the season, and like I said, the rest is history.
Yeah. How is it training at like that level of basketball? Because my highest level is high school, and that was it's kind of a piece of cake. Like you just wake up and just whatever, go to the practice after school. Yeah. So how is it? How was training and all that for you?
Yeah. Well, I tell people all the time, if you don't love the game, you can't do it.
Yeah, right.
You can't, because it's just so much time that you got to do, and so much energy and so much effort that you got to put in the off season, and then when we come to conditioning, boy, that conditioning gonna make you want to quit. You know what I mean? But you show up every single day and you run as hard as you can. You know what I mean? But you also got to do a lot of work outside of just practice. You know what I mean? You got to be able to do your own type of work and be in the gym by yourself. So you got to be dedicated. It's a job. You know what I mean? People don't understand that. Like, it's definitely a job for you to do. So if you don't have that love for it, then it's not gonna work out for you. So, but I got the love for it, you know what I mean? Yeah, so I'm gonna go as hard as I can, and I ain't gonna lie to you, like, not to sound cocky now, but it's actually easy. You know what I mean? It's like playing the game is easy, and doing the practice is easy, because it's more. It's not even just about the skill anymore. It's about just knowing the game, the knowledge. Right. I got the knowledge of the game, so I know how to do this, that, and the third. You know what I mean? It's fun. Yeah. I think that's what everybody forgets sometimes, is that it's fun. You know what I'm saying? You gotta have fun when you're playing. You know what I mean? If you don't have fun and you don't love it, you gotta quit. So, but it's a great thing though. Yeah,
and I bet it's also like, every time you go to practice, you know that you're gonna get 1% better. So every like day. You just kind of like, once one practice is over, you're like, all right, let's get the next one, because you just have that want to be just like great. You know what I mean? So yeah, it's
like breathing.
Right, exactly.
That's all it is.
For sure. And yeah, I went to college, but I didn't go for basketball, but I did see like how like the basketball team and like all of the training and all that. I was like, I like basketball, but like, you gotta love basketball.
Yeah, I love it to go through that.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, I bet it's just normal for you.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot. Don't get me wrong. I'll be tired, but it's just like, you're doing this for a reason. You know what I mean? You're doing this to be great, to better yourself, better your teammates, and to win championship. That's your mindset, is to win the championship. So, I mean, you run a little extra harder. You know what I mean? Actually, when you're done running, sometimes you be like, I might want to just run a little bit more. You know what I mean? So it's you're getting better. You know what I mean? People look at it as a punishment. For me, I'm just looking at it as I'm just getting better. You know what I'm saying? I'm in more shape. You know what I mean? So when it comes to game time, I'm able to do everything I need to do in that game. You know what I mean? So it's really, like I said, I look at everything as a blessing. You know, you're never gonna hear me talk negative about anything. Right. You know what I mean? I'm always gonna make positive out of anything. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's the great thing in life. Great thing I love about myself, that I can make everything positive. So
yeah, definitely.
And it all comes with just loving the game.
Yeah, I feel like if you didn't think that way, then you wouldn't nearly be where you're at right now, because it's really all just thinking positive and just knowing that there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Yeah. And so man, I'm excited for you. For sure. And just a year ahead of us, like you said, just where you're gonna be at. And yeah, man.
Shoot, not just me, Full Motion too.
Yeah, man, exactly.
Full Motion too. Full Motion gonna blow up too. You know what I mean? We're gonna blow up, and that's. I want to say this to you guys. Like I really commend you guys for doing this. You know what I mean? And because podcast is where it's at. You know what I mean? And be able to just y'all don't understand. Like maybe as for right now, y'all might not have the views or whatever case may be, but y'all still make sure I know you guys gonna be doing this for the right reasons. You know what I mean? Y'all are doing this because you want to help people. You want them just to be able to learn. And it's crazy enough that y'all experiences and the things that y'all been through and the things that y'all know, people will watch and people will take that into consideration. You know what I mean? So you guys have a lot much power just sitting at this table.
Absolutely.
And touching a lot of people. You know what I mean? So I commend you guys for that because that's a beautiful thing to do. But like I said, in one more year, we all blowing up together. So yeah, man. We all good, bro.
It's exciting and it's something good to look forward to. And it's like one last thing, because I could be here forever, but
me too.
like how we were saying, like just God, like me and Kamar were talking about us growing up. Like we met through basketball and all that, but we always like had like this entrepreneur type of like mindset. Like we always were starting up like some type of businesses. Like we started up a real estate business, a vending machine business, and although it didn't like go how we wanted it to go, it's kind of like weird how like I don't know, like we graduated high school and we went through college, blah blah blah, whatever, and then we rekindled, and now we're like starting this Full Motion business. So it's kind of like we did all of that previous like the trials and tribulations for like right now, and like right now is like the most perfect time for us to do this. So
and it didn't happen because, or it didn't happen just out of nowhere. Like it happened for a reason. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, this is all part of both of y'all's plans. You know what I mean? Y'all went through what y'all needed to go through to learn. You know what I mean? So like seeing both, I think I seen people repost the things that you were doing. And me knowing K, you know what I'm saying? I seen what he was doing. He was doing everything, you know what I'm saying? At some point, I was just like, dang, like this boy don't stop moving.
Man,
this boy don't sleep. You know what I mean?
Different breed.
Like he handling his business though. You know what I mean? So just like you saw the dedication in him. You know what I mean? And and hearing how you speak. You know what I'm saying? You got that dedication. You got that passion. You know what I mean? So I feel like y'all both just found where y'all needed to be. Y'all found each other. Y'all found Full Motion. You know what I mean? So now this is probably where it's gonna take y'all from. So
it's only up from here, man.
Only up from here, my guy.
For sure. Yes, sir. And that'll wrap up the podcast. Thank y'all for watching. Subscribe. There's gonna be links down below for our social media. Man. Thank y'all for everything. See y'all in the next one. Peace.